Vinkesh, and we return to our top story. On Bharat Mobility Global Expo, Prime Minister Narendra Modi earlier today addressed the gathering there. And joining me is a special guest, Vinkesh Gulati, Chairman, Research and Academy, Federation of Automobile Dealership Association from Delhi. Mr. Gulati, good evening and welcome. Now, Prime Minister in his address calls it a golden period for the mobility sector in India. Now, in terms of the market, in terms of India's production capacity, the workforce and investment in indigenous research and development, how do you see this as an exciting period for the mobility sector in the country?
See, very frankly, if you see what is happening for the past 1 or 2 years, post-COVID time, the auto industry is in a big growth momentum. COVID did pose us a very big problem, but it also supported us in being a catalyst in growing in a great way. The issues of semiconductors are over. The production capacity, which was a hindrance, a big hindrance during the last time, for the past 2 years, it has increased, and the industry, which was going on an average of 3 lakhs per month, now is in a position to even reach 4 lakhs per month. We are already expecting that we'll be doing some 4.2 million cars this month, this year, whereas it was at some below 3 million before. So we are on a very positive mode, and Mr. PM Modi and Pradhan Mantri ji, how he has said, is right on track. The kind of support the current government is giving, direct and indirect, is supporting us in this industry to grow very fast and in the right direction. We are already now number 3, and the way things are growing and the way the global market is in a negative mode, we will be very fast reaching number 2 and then in number 1 also.
And talking about the demand in the coming days, Prime Minister makes a very interesting reference to the emergence of the new middle class, people who've moved over poverty now. How does this aspirational population, the expanding middle class, augur well for the mobility sector?
So basically, you have got it right. If you see, there had been a lot of momentum in urban markets before, but now slowly and steadily the semi-urban market and the rural market are growing, which is a clear indication that the new middle class, which is coming up, who has aspirations, who want to now, who say that they have already reached. They have a good purchasing power now. Their disposable income has increased for the past 2 years with a lot of support of the government and these schemes what they have put in. Now they are coming out and buying vehicles. So what you have seen, if I start on the two-wheeler front, two-wheeler is seeing around a double-digit growth for the past 2-3 months, and I am hoping this quarter also will see that, which is happening after 2-3 years, which is a big time. And India being the biggest two-wheeler country in world, it also gives a clear indication that we are on the right track. The rural still is not out of the despair, but it has come well, and the positive sense or the growth coming from rural and semi-urban is what is growing the two-wheeler segment and even the car segment also. You see how compact SUV has gained momentum lately, which is 8 to 12 lakh bracket, which is normally bought by these upcoming middle class people or people who have been saving money for the past 2-3 years and now open to spend. And Pradhan Mantri Modi ji had very clearly gave this message that if they have more money in hand, there are 5 things which they go for, and the first thing comes in mind is mobility, right, starting from a cycle to a car. So the auto industry, which was sitting today when we were listening to him in the Mandapam, he was right on us that you have to lead the Indian economy further from the front.
Mr. Gulati, we must talk about the interim budget. It was presented just yesterday. The provisions like a corpus of 1 lakh crore rupees for indigenous research and development. Then there is historic capex of upwards of 11 lakhs. How do the provisions of the budget have a direct bearing on the sector?
See, what I feel, we are already in a positive momentum and the growth is happening. Even if you have heard about SIAM's report last week, yes, which said that 5 to 7% of cars and around double-digit, high single-digit or double-digit of two-wheelers, which is clearly indicating that we're in the right post. And the government has very strategically added the research thing, and the PLIs and the other supports, so that in coming days, when the vehicle will be shifting to purely EV or most of EVs, we'll need a lot of research to be done. Like Mr. Modi even had been commented basically, why can't we manufacture battery all put together from here? And slowly and steadily the prices of batteries will come down, which will support EV. So all this research and the strategy, what the current government even hinted towards the budget, obviously there hasn't been any direct benefit to government, to auto industry in this budget. But overall, nothing negative came out of it, and it clearly shows that the government is working on a set direction. So there are no knee-jerk reactions. Whatever OEMs are planning in their increase in capacity, working on alternate fuel, the government is all supporting them. And that is what an industry needs a lot, where we know the government's direction is where the manufacturers also are working, and the future lies there.
And finally, Mr. Gulati, the mobility sector is not all vehicles, two-wheelers, four-wheelers. There's also a human side to it. And Prime Minister talks about the drivers, their ease of living, and also calls upon the private sector to contribute to it, to their training and other areas. How do you see it?
So, as I head the Automotive Skill Development Council also as Vice President, we are already working, and Pradhan Mantri Modi ji has already given us a motto of skilling, and driver skilling is a main part what we are working on. Today, what human touch Modi ji gave was really awesome. The way he expressed the support system to the drivers, that was great, because you know the commercial vehicle drivers are actually working day in, day and night for those freight movement, and the freight movement is too much important. So the way he said that highways will have their places where they can rest and eat properly, which is badly needed today. They normally go on dhabas, which are non-hygienic food, and a normal charpai where they rest. If they get a proper place where they can easily rest, so obviously the efficiency of them will go up. The road accidents will go down, because if they have rested well, they'll be very, very on driving cycle. And as Automotive Skill Development Council, we are regularly training them. We have a driver training course which is happening. There are a lot of fleet owners, the transporters also, which are tied up with us, and we train them on how to drive on the road, and even if they are not very active, they should stop and take care about them, and how to handle the kind of pressures they have to handle on the road. So obviously the kind of human touch Pradhan Mantri did, that was awesome. The first time ever to a segment of people which are taking the toll for our growth actually.
On that note, Mr. Vinkesh Gulati, thank you for joining us on the News Hour.